You're shopping at a peaceful weekend market with your kids, when suddenly 6 elderly women, complete strangers, corner your teenage daughter and start screaming in her face about being a failed Christian. And then you find out who sent them. My ex-mother-in-law. The woman who had spent the last year trying to take my children away from me and rewrite the story of her cheating, dead son. So, I made sure her entire church found out exactly who she really was. And when the truth hit those pews, they exiled her faster than you can say, amen. Before I dive in, if you've ever dreamed of watching karma hit someone who absolutely earned it, hit that like button and subscribe. Because this revenge, oh, it's biblical. I'm a 46-year-old mom of 2 daughters, 17 and 15. And last year, my ex-husband died. I wish I could say we mourned him. I wish I could say the story was noble or bittersweet. But the truth, he died while I was mid-divorce. Because I had just discovered his 2-year-long affair. And not only that, he had 2 sons with the other woman. Both of them died in the same accident, leaving behind 2 orphaned baby boys, and 2 traumatized teenage daughters. My girls were the ones who discovered the cheating. They were the ones who accidentally saw the messages. They were the ones who sat in their rooms crying, asking if their father ever loved them. And they were the ones who had to process that the babies, innocent as they were now permanent reminders of why their family fell apart. We were in therapy, we were healing, we were trying to move on. But my ex-in-laws, no, they wanted a rerun of the 1800s. My former in-laws, 78 and 80, decided that it was now my Christian duty to take in the baby boys and them. All 4 of them, in my home, with my 2 grieving daughters. When I said absolutely not, they tried a different tactic. They began a custody battle for my teenage daughters. They were pushing the narrative that as a single mother, I couldn't possibly care for them. We were preparing for court. Stress was high, but we were managing. Until the day at the market. It was my youngest daughter's birthday. We went to our local weekend farmers market, the kind with fresh strawberries, homemade pies, handmade soaps. The air smelled like cinnamon and earth. The sun was warm. It was supposed to be simple, gentle, a little pocket of peace after a hellish year. I gave her a birthday budget and set her loose to buy whatever sweets she wanted. An hour passed. I was just pulling out my phone to call her when she called me first. Her voice was strained, wet, panicked. Mom, some weird women are yelling at me. They cornered me. My stomach dropped so fast it felt like I'd swallowed a stone. My oldest and I sprinted across the market, pushing through crowds and produce stands. And there she was, my baby, pressed against a booth table, surrounded by 6 women who looked like the Golden Girls' evil cousins. And they were screaming at her, calling her unchristian, calling her selfish, calling her cruel for refusing to open her heart to her poor baby brothers. One even said, "You wouldn't be so bitter if your mother raised you better." My daughter was trembling, lip quivering, eyes red. Something inside me snapped, not in anger, in primal, animalistic protectiveness. I stepped between them and my daughter so fast one of them stumbled backward. I told my oldest, "Take your sister. Pay for her things. Go to the car." Then I turned to the women. And I let fire pour out of me. "How dare you corner children? How dare you speak to them that way? Who sent you?" They didn't even deny it. "Oh, she asked us to speak to you," one said with her nose up. "Your ex-mother-in-law. You should obey her. She is a godly woman." Another sneered, "A Christian wife owes obedience to her husband's family." My husband was dead, and they were still trying to own me. The shouting escalated until market security asked us all to leave. The 6 women actually followed me to the parking lot like vultures circling a carcass. The whole ride home my hands shook so badly I could barely grip the wheel. My daughters sat silent in the backseat. Not crying, just stunned, the kind of stunned where you're holding pain so tightly your body goes numb. I tucked them into bed that night feeling an anger I didn't even know I was capable of. And then I logged online. And I found the match that lit everything on fire. A member of my ex-in-law's church, someone who actually liked me, messaged me apologizing for what happened. Then he sent me screenshots. My ex-mother-in-law had posted a long, dramatic, Oscar-worthy Facebook rant in their church group. She claimed, "Checkmark I abandoned her in her old age. Checkmark my daughters abused her. Checkmark we were leaving them homeless. Checkmark the baby boys were my surrogate children." Check mark. I rejected them because I hate sons. And worst of all, she claimed I caused her son's death by leading him into sin. But the part she skipped, the cheating, the affair, the fact that her and her husband knew about the other woman and approved of it, because cheating is a giant taboo in their church. Huge. Like, you get shunned instantly, huge. So she rewrote the entire scandal as if the other woman was our surrogate, and my daughters were wicked for rejecting their baby brothers. I stared at those screenshots with this cold, clear stillness. This wasn't disrespect. This wasn't manipulation. This wasn't gossip. This was war. And I had plenty of ammunition. Because our divorce never finalized, I still had every piece of evidence I had gathered. Photos of him making out with the affair partner in our living room. Text messages between him and the mistress. Messages where his parents encouraged the affair. Emails where his parents harassed me about the divorce. Screenshots of them bullying my daughters. Calling them bastards. Blaming them for their father's death. And telling them they had cost 2 babies a mother and father. 2 days after he died. 2 days. My hands were shaking, but not out of fear. Out of purpose. I took the next day off work. And I went to a print shop. High quality, glossy, full color. If they wanted dramatic, I could do dramatic. Back home, I assembled everything into neat, beautifully designed binders. They looked like hymn books. Cream-colored covers, gold accents, the kind of thing you'd pick up in a church without thinking twice. The first page, a full-page picture of my ex passionately kissing his affair partner. Captioned, the true story of ex's name and mistress's name. Biblical enough for them, accurate enough for justice. Sunday morning, before service, I slipped into the church. There's a little shelf in the back where people borrow hymn books. I slid in the binders, one by one, mixing them among the songs of praise. And I walked out. No guilt, no fear, no hesitation, only calm. Pure, delicious calm. By noon, my phone was blowing up. That church became a gossip volcano. People were furious. Not at me, not at my daughters, but at her. At the hypocrisy, at the lies, at the manipulation, at the cruelty toward my children. The pastor had to step in because the comments were getting so vicious they weren't Christian approved anymore. I heard she cried in the lobby. I heard someone called her a snake in a sweater set. I heard her husband stormed out. And the best part, the church demanded she apologize to my daughters. She refused, so they shunned her. A full-on, old-fashioned, community-wide freeze-out. She and my ex Phil ended up leaving the church entirely. And then, cherry on top, she posted on Facebook about how no one cares about the elderly, and how her great son would have supported her. As if her precious son, who I supported financially for 20 years, ever paid a bill in his life. It wasn't about humiliating her. It was about protecting my daughters. And watching the church, her community, the one she weaponized, turn their backs on her. That was the justice she never saw coming. She tried to use religion to bully my children. Instead, religion became the force that exposed her. In the end, I learned something important. Sometimes you don't need to destroy someone. You just need to tell the truth. And let their own community decide what to do with it. And when a lie is big enough, the truth is nuclear. If this story gave you that karma chills feeling, hit that like button. It helps the story reach more people. And tell me in the comments, what's the most satisfying revenge you've ever witnessed? Make sure to subscribe for more stories where justice doesn't just happen. It hits back.